Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling a health issue that's, well, exploding, but often completely silently. We're taking a deep dive into hepatic steatosis. You probably know it better as fatty liver disease. And it used to be pretty rare back in the 90s. Now it's incredibly common, even showing up in kids.
Absolutely. And the crucial thing for you to understand listening to this is that fatty liver isn't harmless. Not at all. If you don't catch it, it can lead to really serious problems, scarring, cirrhosis, even liver cancer. It's actually become one of the main reasons people need liver transplants worldwide.
Wow.
But, and this is key, your liver is amazing. It can heal itself, regenerate, but only up to a certain point. So, finding it early, that's everything. That's our mission today, giving you the knowledge for that early detection, maybe even reversal.
Exactly. This isn't about scare tactics. It's about empowerment. We want you to have the tools. We'll look at the signs, maybe subtle ones your body's sending, figure out who's most at risk, and, surprisingly, some really effective natural fixes, things you might literally have in your kitchen right now. By the end, you'll know how to look after this vital organ. You're not going to want to ignore this, right?
Yeah. Okay, let's really get into this because, that statistic. More than a third of adults over 35 in the U.S. have this and don't know. How does it stay so hidden? Why is it so easy to miss?
Well, that's exactly why they call it a silent threat. Hepatic steatosis just means fat makes up more than 5% of your liver's weight. Simple as that. But the problem is your liver is incredibly resilient. It doesn't
Yeah.
usually scream for help early on, unlike, say, diabetes or high blood pressure where you might get clearer signals sooner.
Right.
So people often find out completely by accident, maybe during an ultrasound for something else entirely. Or routine blood work flags up high liver enzymes, AST and ALT. Those are the signals that liver cells might be stressed or damaged.
Ah, those enzymes. Okay. And like you said, it's not just an older adult thing anymore. Seeing it in kids now is, well, it's a huge shift from the 90s. It's quite alarming,
So
actually.
it's like this quiet problem simmering away. And you don't really notice until it's quite far along. And you mentioned regeneration earlier, that incredible ability the liver has, but there's a catch.
Exactly. It can regenerate. It's truly remarkable, but only up to a point. If that inflammation and fat accumulation continues, if the warnings aren't heeded, that damage can become permanent scarring, that's cirrhosis. And that can progress to liver failure or even cancer. That's the grim reality of why it's a leading cause for transplants now. So spotting those early, subtle signs is just vital.
Okay, this is where it gets really practical for you listening. Your body does send signals. We just need to learn the language. Our sources talk about 17 signs. Some are early hints. Others are more serious flags. Let's start with the early ones, the whispers.
Yes, the whispers. Good way to put it. First off, maybe just feeling tired. A lot. Not just, I need coffee tired, but deep fatigue. See, your liver is central to energy metabolism, nutrient processing, even hormone balance. When it's struggling with excess fat, it just can't do its job properly. Energy levels dip, mood can be affected, sleep too. If there's inflammation, steatohepatitis, it's even worse.
That makes sense.
What else? Then there's general stomach issues. Things like heartburn, that burning feeling, maybe lots of belching, or just feeling uncomfortably full after eating. There was a study, actually, UFMG, found about 25% of people with fatty liver had these kinds of dyspeptic symptoms, compared to only about 12% without it. Even excess gas. Sometimes so much it actually makes it hard to see the pancreas clearly on an ultrasound. It might be changes in gut bacteria linked to the liver issue.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else location specific?
Yeah, sometimes a dull ache or just a feeling of weight or discomfort on your right side, kind of high up under the ribs. That can be the liver itself, slightly enlarged, maybe pressing on things. It can even irritate a nerve, the phrenic nerve, causing pain that feels like it's in your right shoulder. People often mistake it for muscle pain or indigestion.
And appetite.
Loss of appetite can happen too. It's linked to those metabolic changes, maybe inflammation, hormonal shifts, or just feeling nauseous, which is another sign, nausea. That can be from toxins building up because the liver isn't filtering well, or inflammation, or even the enlarged liver pressing on the stomach.
Wow. Okay. It's striking how easily you could explain those away, isn't it? Stress, bad meal, slept funny.
Exactly, they're subtle.
So what happens when things progress? When the whispers turn into louder warnings? What are the signs the liver's really in trouble?
Right. As the damage gets worse, the signs become much more obvious, harder to ignore. They really point to significant liver dysfunction, like jaundice. That's when your skin and the whites of your eyes turn yellowish. It's bilirubin building up because the liver can't process it
Oh,
properly.
that's a classic sign.
Definitely. Or really intense itching, often all over, but especially noticeable on the palms of your hands and soles of your feet. That's bile salts depositing in the skin. You might also notice your urine getting very dark, almost like cola. Again, bilirubin being dumped out by the kidneys. And conversely, your stools might become pale, clay-colored, because the bile isn't getting into the digestive tract correctly.
Those are pretty clear indicators something's wrong with the system.
Very clear. Then you might see physical signs on the skin, like tiny red spots or spider veins, little web-like blood vessels. These can happen because the liver isn't making enough clotting proteins, or platelets are low, or even because of hormonal imbalances like excess estrogen the liver can't break down.
Hormonal imbalances.
Yes, which can also lead to gynecomastia in men, enlargement of breast tissue. It's an indirect effect of the liver not metabolizing hormones correctly. You might also see palmar erythema, unusual redness on the palms, again linked to hormonal changes or unfiltered substances.
Okay, quite a range of symptoms. Anything else?
A few more subtle but significant ones. Night blindness, believe it or not, difficulty seeing in low light. Your liver is crucial for storing and processing vitamin A, which you need for vision. If the liver is compromised, vitamin A absorption suffers. And changes in your fingernails, they might look mostly white or dull, sometimes called leukonychia or Terry's nails. It reflects changes in blood composition, maybe nutritional deficiencies because the liver isn't working right.
White nails, wow. And you mentioned fluid issues earlier.
Yes, swelling in the legs and ankles, that's edema. It happens when the damaged liver can't produce enough albumin, a protein that keeps fluid in your blood vessels. So fluid leaks out into the tissues. This can also lead to fluid buildup in the abdomen, called ascites, and it's often linked to portal hypertension, increased pressure in the main vein to the liver, which is serious and can lead to other complications like internal bleeding, confusion. It's a sign things are very advanced.
Okay, that's sobering. The message is clear. Don't ignore those later signs. But really, the power lies in catching it much earlier.
Absolutely.
So for you listening, what does this all mean? The great news, as our sources stress, is that early on, it's often completely reversible. But if the symptoms are so quiet at first, how do you know if you're at risk? How do you find out before symptoms appear?
That's where knowing the risk factors is incredibly empowering. Because you're right, diagnosis usually comes from imaging, ultrasound, CT, MRI. Doctors look for that fat exceeding 5%, grading it 1, 2, or 3, depending on severity. But before you even get to that stage, we know the main triggers. Number 1, obesity. Significantly increases fat buildup, inflammation, risk of scarring.
Makes sense.
Type 2 diabetes is a really big one. It's tightly linked to insulin resistance, which directly encourages fat storage in the liver. High blood pressure often travels with obesity and insulin resistance, kind of adding fuel to the fire. Then there's excessive alcohol consumption. Alcohol metabolism generates stress and inflammation right in the liver cells, the hepatocytes, and promotes fat accumulation.
The classic alcoholic fatty liver, right. But it's not just alcohol.
Not at all. That's a key point now. Non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, is the most common type. And a huge factor there is sedentarism, just not moving enough. It contributes to obesity, insulin resistance, all the things that drive fat into the liver. There are other causes too, like certain medications, amiodarone, tamoxifen, corticosteroids sometimes, but those 5. Obesity, diabetes, high blood pressure, alcohol, and lack of movement. They're the big ones for most people.
It really paints a picture of, well, modern lifestyle factors converging on the liver. And the scary part is feeling okay while this is happening.
Precisely. You might feel fine, but the damage is accumulating.
Okay, let's pivot. We've identified the problem, the risks, the signs. Now for the empowering part, the solutions. This shouldn't leave you feeling helpless. Our sources are clear. There are actionable steps. So what can you actually do?
Right, this is where you take back control. And the really good news, a lot of the power is in your hands, often without needing medication, especially early on. 4 key things. First, if you drink alcohol, you need to avoid alcohol completely. It's directly toxic to liver cells and fuels fat buildup. For liver recovery, it's non-negotiable.
Okay, number 1, ditch the alcohol. What's next?
Number 2, get moving. Exercise. And it's not just about burning calories. Physical activity directly improves how your body uses insulin and helps reduce fat in the liver itself. Aim for at least, say, 150 minutes of moderate activity per week. Brisk walking counts. Now, this is so important, especially thinking about kids. We're seeing more fatty liver, partly because screen time has replaced active play for many.
Move more, cut the booze. Makes sense. What about weight?
Losing weight is number 3. And here's the encouraging bit. You don't necessarily need drastic changes overnight. Even losing just 5% of your body weight if you're overweight can make a huge difference. It significantly reduces liver fat, inflammation, even fibrosis risk. Slow and steady wins.
Just 5%. That sounds achievable. Okay, and the fourth pillar.
The fourth, and arguably the most powerful, is your diet. What you eat is absolutely crucial for reversing this condition.
Right, diet. Let's break that down. Our sources get specific. They talk about foods that are practically toxic for a fatty liver. What are the absolute no-goes if you want to heal your liver?
Okay, the number one villain, maybe surprisingly, is fructose. But critically not the fructose in whole fruits. Fruits are good. We're talking about added fructose, especially high fructose corn syrup. It's hidden everywhere. Sodas, sports drinks, sweetened yogurt, cereal bars, ketchup, salad dressings, jarred sauces. Your liver processes this differently than glucose, and it's incredibly efficient at turning this kind of fructose straight into fat. It's a direct pathway to liver fat.
So reading labels for hidden sugars, especially fructose, is key.
Absolutely. Then, more broadly, added sugar in general. Sweets, pastries, sugary cereals, major contributors. Ultra-processed foods are another big one. Think packaged snacks, fast food, ready meals. They're usually loaded with sugar, unhealthy fats, salt, and additives that your liver has to deal with. Also, refined wheat. White bread, white pasta, crackers, baked goods. They spike your blood sugar quickly, pushing insulin resistance and liver fat storage. And lastly, be cautious with many common vegetable oils like corn, soybeans, sunflower oil. They tend to be high in omega-6 fatty acids, which can promote inflammation when out of balance with omega-3s.
Okay, so cut the hidden sugars, the processed stuff, the refined grains. Maybe rethink the cooking oils, that's clear. But it's not just about taking things out, is it? What should people be actively adding in? What foods help cleanse and support the liver?
Exactly. It's about replacing the harmful stuff with healing foods.
Yeah.
Let's talk allies. First, fruits are generally great, but avocado gets a special mention. It's rich in glutathione, a powerhouse antioxidant that helps your liver detoxify and fights fat buildup. Then whole grains. Think oat bran, quinoa, brown rice, also seeds like flax and chia. They provide fiber, which is crucial, and healthy fats like omega-3s linked to lower fatty liver risk.
Good fats, good fiber. Got it.
Next up, cruciferous vegetables. That's your broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, kale. They contain a compound called sulforaphane. Sulforaphane helps boost detoxification enzymes in the liver, reduces inflammation, and may even lower cancer risk. So load up on those.
Broccoli power. What else?
Healthy fats again. Olive oil, particularly extra virgin, studies suggest using it regularly, maybe 3 to 4 tablespoons a day, can significantly reduce fat in the liver. Turmeric, that bright yellow spice, it's famous for its anti-inflammatory compound, curcumin. Quick tip, always have it with a pinch of black pepper. The piperine in pepper massively increases your body's ability to absorb the curcumin.
Turmeric and black pepper. Okay. Any drinks?
Yes. Surprisingly, coffee. Regular coffee drinkers seem to have lower rates of fatty liver disease and fibrosis. It contains caffeine, antioxidants like vitamin E, tocopherol, and chlorogenic acid. These seem to protect liver cells, reduce inflammation, and fight scarring.
Coffee. That's good news for many. So it's about these simple whole foods, really.
It really is. It highlights how much power we have through everyday choices. The best remedies might genuinely be in your kitchen, not the pharmacy.
So wrapping this up, the core message seems clear. Fatty liver is incredibly common, often silent, but largely preventable, and crucially, often reversible, especially when caught early.
Absolutely. It's about awareness of the signs, knowing your risks, and taking informed action. Understanding the impact of alcohol, movement, weight, and especially diet, those simple changes can be profound.
It truly underscores the liver's amazing resilience and the direct impact of our lifestyle.
Exactly. Knowledge empowers you to support that resilience.
So here's a thought to leave you with. Considering your liver's incredible capacity for healing and the powerful connection between your daily choices and its health, what one single change could you commit to this week? What step could you take right now to nourish and protect this absolutely vital organ? Thanks for joining us for this important deep dive.